Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well today. Nice beautiful sunny day here in northern Georgia. Been a while since I've done a video update on the greenhouse and anything else for that matter. I apologize for that. Just like I say, just been one of them years, been a lot going on. I just have not had a lot of time to do videos and things. But anyway, as you can look beside me here, you can see that the 1-year-old tomato plants are officially gone. Here's a shot of them when about 2 weeks ago when I replanted them. And you can see right there, and then you can see how they are at this point now. The very first area, you can see it's a little bit shorter than the rest. I actually had one of my seedlings died on me. For whatever reason, I come up here one day and it just broke off, and it didn't dampen off or anything. It just broke off close to the top. Don't know what caused it, but anyway, so what I did was, while I still had the other tomato plants in there, I just cut a sucker off of one of my big beefs, and I rooted it in some water, and I used it. I got it here in the first bucket, so we'll see how that goes. Doing one from a year-old plant from a sucker, and see how that goes. Anyway, all these are these first 4 here are big beef, and then the last one's Campari. I'm just kind of going back to where my roots were, where I've had the most success. And as you guys know, last year I tried some different things with some heirlooms and such as that, and particularly I tried the Brandywine Red, some Rutgers, and Cherokee Purples. And when the weather started getting cold, like in the middle of winter and stuff like that, they were producing tomatoes, but the quality, the taste of the tomatoes and the texture was not real good in them versus the big beefs. The big beefs, flesh was fine inside. They were nice and juicy, evenly red. They produced well. So I just decided that I was just going to go back with my usual. And you know, if something works, I think like MHP Gardner said one time, you know, no sense in trying to reinvent the wheel. So anyway, I went back with the big beefs, 4 of those, and 1 Campari on the very end down there. And as you can see, I'll give you a shot of these pepper plants here. You can see the background behind me over here, what there is left of them. I'm gonna give you a good shot of that here in just a minute. But here's what they look like before I cut them back. I did this for a number of reasons, guys. For one thing, they had just gotten super huge, and I was having a hard time keeping the branches under control because they were tall and long and spindly, and I kept coming in here and finding broken branches laying on the floor with peppers on them and such as that. And in addition to that, trying to get these tomato plants started, the sun's getting lower in the sky. I did not want them, until these things get up some, I did not want them blocking the sunlight from the tomato plants as well. And then another reason, they have gotten so bushy and so thick and everything, I would think I had the aphids under control. And then I'd come back in here a few days later, and then they'd be right back on there, you know, hard and heavy again, because you just, you know, even as careful as you are trying to spray up under the leaves and on top of the leaves, and you know, you try to get every little nook and cranny in there, but there's so many places for them to hide. Plus they fall off when you spray them, and they fall inside your buckets, and you know, and then they get on the ground behind them, and they wind up right back on the plant. So I just decided to take them outside here and do a severe pruning on them. So we cut these things way back. I know it looks severe. Now we did this with some other peppers in the past, and they came back and did just fine. So here's a shot of them here with them all cut up. I know that looks drastic, guys, but you know, you got to do what you got to do, and you know, hopefully I've already seen some leaves starting to come back out on some branches. So hopefully they'll come back and get going in full force, and then I can I'll have a stronger plant, and I can keep them under better control. So we're going to try this out and see how it goes. But anyway, that's where we're at on that. As you see here, the cracky beds are empty at the moment. I have not got stuff ready to go for them yet. It's still a little hot right now. We're still getting in the upper 80s in the daytime, and you know, and the nights haven't cooled down enough. But here probably in about another week or two, I'm gonna go ahead and start my lettuce, my cold crops and such that I'm gonna put in here. and I'm probably not going to grow as much lettuce as I've been growing in the past, because we've really been growing more than we could eat. And I'm gonna try an experiment. I'm gonna try some Parthenocarpic cucumbers, either Sumter, Excelsior, or Little Leaf, or something other like that. I just haven't made up my mind which one I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna take one of these cracky beds, and I'm gonna put a trellis on it, and just hang it up to the purlin over the top. And we're gonna try our look at some cracky cucumbers, which is something I've never done before. I've done them in Dutch buckets, and I tried to. If you remember a few years ago, so if you watched the video, here's a shot of it where I took Boston pickling, and these were not Parthenocarpic. I mean, for those of you who don't know what that means that they do not have to be pollinated. That thing's ready to go. I mean, it makes a flower and it makes a cucumber. And so, even though they will still have some male and some female, but mostly they're gynoecious, which means that they have mostly female flowers. And that's what I'm going to grow in the cracky bed this year. It's going to be Parthenocarpic. But these Boston pickling cucumbers were not Parthenocarpic. I had to hand pollinate them, and I tell you what, they just about took over the whole greenhouse. So I'm not going to try that again, especially on the south wall over here. My greenhouse is facing east to west, and that sun comes right across here, and it blocked sunlight from everything in here, because it was running all down the purlins, and it was a mess. So I tried that. I'm not going to go that route again. So we're going to try something different. We'll put them on the back wall and in the cracky beds. But anyway, that's so far that's the plans I've got right now. I probably will go ahead and do my cracky bucket celery again. I had said last year I was going to do some carrots. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that right now. It depends on if these peppers make it or not, which I think they will. That row there is going to be tied up with peppers. I'll have to come up with another idea if I'm going to try to do any more Dutch bucket carrots or anything like that. But we'll think it through and see what happens. We still got plenty of time. But anyway, guys, I'll show you what I did with all these peppers. Here's a harvest of the peppers that we got off of them plants. Once we prune them back, we just cut all the peppers off, all such sizes, shapes, and beautiful harvest. Most of them are green. Some of them are supposed to be red, and some of them are supposed to be yellow. But when you cut them off before they fully ripen, then they're going to be green. But anyway, they'll put up just fine. And basically, this is the way we do it right here. I just take and chop these peppers in half. A lot of people, everybody's got their own way of gutting bell peppers. I mean, I cut the thing in half, and I just pop out the back stem on each half piece, pull the membranes out, bang them over a trash bag, and get the seeds out of them, and then I just cut them in quarters right here so they'll fit my chopper. And I just take my chopper. You can use a Vide onion chopper or whatever kind of chopper. This is not a Vide onion brand chopper. I can't remember what kind it is, but it's got several different kinds of chopping blades in there where you can chop fine or 4/8. This is the coarse blade I have in here, and that's the size we like them. That's about what you would dice them up to use in soups and stews, or spaghetti, chili, whatever the case may be. And once we get them all chopped up and everything, you can do this. We're doing this in portion bags. Our vacuum sealer, we're able to make bags of different sizes, whatever you need, and we're taking portion bags and putting as many in there as we would normally use for whatever reason, and we're just sealing them up one bag at a time. I'm not worried about flash freezing them. Now you can flash freeze these things, guys, and how you do that is take them and just put them on a big cookie sheet on top of a piece of wax paper, and just put them in the freezer, for an hour or so or whatever, how long you want to put them in there for, just until they're frozen good, and they're nice and separated. Then you can put them all in one big bag. And then when you go to get you some out, you can use them zipper bags. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, you can use a zipper bag that has a little slide zipper on it. You can just take that thing out of the freezer and get you out a handful and throw them in whatever you're cooking, and burp the air out of it and zip it right back up. And you can just do that until that bag's empty and get you another one. They don't seem to keep as well. That way they tend to get a lot of frost on them eventually, even though you flash freeze them. But flash freezing them will help. I've done that many times until I acquired the vacuum sealer a few years ago, and then we just started doing vacuum seal portion bags. But Any guys that beware of this. If you have a vacuum sealer and you're vacuum sealing something wet like this, you're either going to have to. Sometimes we have folded a napkin and put them in there and at the top of the bag and let it stop the water from going out into the sealing area. And then they also make bags that are specifically for wet products like this, which is what we're using here. And then the liquid can't get out of the bag. After it vacuums it out, the liquid won't come out, and then the bag will seal very good for you. There's just a couple of tips on peppers. I mean, this is what we do with them. Sometimes we slice them up into stir-fry slices and freeze them as well. And then you can take them out and use them in a stir-fry or whatever purpose you want to use them for. As far as cooking-wise, of course, anybody knows if you take frozen bell peppers and try to thaw them out and put them in a salad, they're not going to be very good. But for cooking purposes, this works just fine. But anyway, guys, that's about all I got this time around. A nice little short just update video for you. More things to come. I just gotta do them as I get time, and we got some plans in the future, hopefully for the greenhouse. We're gonna make some changes to the greenhouse itself here upcoming. I'm not sure when it's going to be, but first thing I got to do, I got to get this thing recovered. This plastic's been on here for, but we're going on 6 years, and it's only supposed to be guaranteed for 4 years. But we need to get this recovered. It's still holding a good seal. It's there's no bad spots on it. It's still, I got the holes in it from the hailstorm years ago that I taped up. But anyway, that's one of the things in the future that's going to happen. You'll get to see a recover of the Key Player 61 greenhouse. But anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful to you, and it's good to be back on with you. And y'all just still keep us in your prayers, especially particularly my wife's going through a lot of issues right now, as a lot of you know. And I'm not going into any details or anything like that, but if y'all would just keep her in your prayers. And that's about it. So you guys have a great one, and until next time, may God bless you, and we'll see you next time.